Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, joining us live from the Hobo Fish Camp in beautiful Oak Hill, Florida. And this time not on Skype, via Zoom, is our good friend, Tuttle. Hey, Tuds, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. Yeah, no, I've been doing a lot of video interviews on Zoom, and I've been switching back and forth. You know how I think me and you are kind of alike, Daniel, where we're kind of techie, where we like to figure things out on our own.
Indeed.
Instead of like trying to just read what people are posting, because that's the basic stuff. And I found that Zoom is just way better and more stable than Skype.
Yeah, we're going to give it a go for a little bit. Like I was able to figure out how to manipulate Zoom so the people that are on the other end of the line can actually see our full production, which is kind of cool. So this is the first time that we've interviewed Tuttle where he's actually been able to see everybody in the studio.
Now,
normally only sees one camera.
How do you feel if you're Skype and you've had like a 12-year head start and Zoom is already caught up to you and past you?
Oh,
like,
well, it's like Airbnb versus, what is it, YBO or?
Yeah, VR or
VRO or
VMO,
VBO, VMO.
VMR.
Oh my God, I have my headphones in and you guys going back and forth is really screwing up my brain.
LGBTQN, QAnon, Q and Ann of Green Gables.
All right, you're freaking me out, people. What are you doing?
Tony.
Tony.
It's
Tony.
Tony.com.
May I call you? Everyone go to Tony.com right now. It has started. It has started.
Tuttle.
Yeah.
Dude, are you all right? Okay, you and I, let's talk about something. Tuds, are you having a good beginning of the year? Because Tom and I, it's like we started the year good, and now we're progressively getting slower and more tired.
I have completely nosedived in the past week. Like, I don't know what it is. A lot of people have been talking about this pandemic depression. And for the most part, I was doing pretty well. I've made a lot of changes for the positive, but the past week, I've been dealing with horrible bouts of insomnia. Like, I'm getting like 3 hours a night.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if it's just like normal human or North American style pressure. I mean, it's not like all of us that live here have been having, it's not like that fun Christmas vibe. It's been weird.
Is it okay? Tuttle, I thought because I sleep poorly too, and I think it's the biggest problem in my life.
I think I sleep well.
Do you?
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess not if I'm so tired.
Well, that takes away my theory because I was about to say you think it's
no. But Tom, let me ask you though. When you the thing that I've been noticing is that a lot of people cannot remember their dreams, but dreams are very important because that's your brain kind of like resetting things, getting rid of all the toxins and everything. And I cannot remember the last time that I can remember a dream. Like it's crazy. And I think that I'm sleeping. I just think that I'm not getting that REM sleep.
Yeah, I don't dream either, and that may be a problem as well. I just don't know. I'm not a specialist.
But they're less dreams and they're more like
nightmares.
Half nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're not full nightmares. They're not like I'm being murdered. It's usually, sorry, this is going to be pretty boring, but it's usually me forgetting something.
Yeah, some anxiety.
Or me working, and it's usually in the form of anxiety.
A nightmare to you is a dream about something that gives you anxiety.
Right.
Well, yeah,
I'd rather be killed.
But
I was doing some research. Like, have you guys ever had the dream where you can't run fast enough or you can't punch hard enough? Have you guys ever had that?
In all of my dreams, I'm the fastest and I punch the hardest. Those are the only dreams I have.
Well, yeah, we know what you're talking about. But also, I haven't dreamed anything in so long. I barely remember the last dream I had.
Yeah, but you claim you're a dreamer. You do your dreaming during the day.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You're a daydreamer, not a night dreamer.
I daydream a lot. But so...
Sleep. What is it? Dream all night.
But yeah.
Sleep all day.
It means... those things are certain markers that mean you're having some sort of feeling about something,
I wish you
lots
stop.
of teas, no money.
Can you stop saying the phrase markers? You've been using it a lot, and anytime you say that, I think of foods that are markers that you would find in your poop or in your vomit. in order to delineate when you ate. A lot of bulimic people have marker foods they eat in order to,
Okay,
so that way they can manage the amount of vomit that they're spraying.
Have you guys noticed the older you're getting, you're using new words as like crutch words sometimes? Because mine is like, I'll use like. I use like a lot when I get lost when I'm talking about things. And there's some other like buzzwords that I've been getting when I get older, but like since I've been older, it's like, God damn it, I want to kick myself in the ass for saying and sounding like a dad, and I'll never be a dad.
That's not true. You could be a dad right now. In fact, I think the most
maybe
responsible,
you already are.
Yeah, the most responsible thing you can do right now is to try and adopt a child and never stop until you have acquired one.
Listen, I still have fears that I have a child
with
down
who?
in Fort Myers.
Oh yeah,
we went down
true.
for a real radio event. This was before Drunky or Tom was on.
This is when you were putting down that Fort Oscar Mayer. That big wiener.
So it was the one time, because I am always OCD. I will not go without protection, and you know,
you always got your revolvers on you.
Yes, but I didn't at that time, and it was me, because I went away with 3 random monster listeners. It was another couple, and I'm in the back seat with the other one, and we're fooling around, and they're like egging her on, like, yeah, that's Tuttle, yeah, and I'm like, I'm a nobody, guys, and it was me and her on a blow-up single bed mattress. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the most white trash sexual experiences that I have ever had, because after I got done,
hillbilly
a certain member of the show called me, Tuttle, where you at? And it's more of a female voice, if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. I was one of two. I know now.
Okay, but
at one point
there
was crossover where you couldn't tell.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that I was always worried that I could get a phone call any day, be like, hey, guess what, Patrick? You are a father. And like, what am I gonna do? I'm not moving down to Fort Myers.
No, but
I remember
that was so. I mean, the kids would be almost 18 now.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, what the kid would be like 12. 13, so really like maybe 5 years.
I mean, you missed all the hard part. Now you get the fun stuff.
What if it's cool?
Teach them how to fish.
Oh, yeah.
But what if,
take them out in your kayak and yell at people in the intercoastal?
But what if I was that weird, awkward dad? Like, he signs his, like, he's like a great baseball player or a football player, and I'm like, I meet him at one of his big media days, and I'm like, I'm your dad. Hey, help me out.
Don't say it like that. I'm your dad.
Well, that's what you would, if your kid ended up being famous, you know, you start showing, you know, like.
Yeah, you take his Olympic medals around to every Cuban sandwich restaurant in Orlando, just like Shaq's dad did. He's like, look, my son is an Olympian, and he's showing the medal at Cuban sandwiches to go on Lee Road so he could get a free cafe con leche.
Okay, what if because Tuttle was a good athlete, a good baseball player back in the day.
Probably still can wing it.
So what if by some means of like genetic, you know, maybe the redneck that he banged that night, her dad was a good athlete. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so like perfect genes come together, and now you've got this kid, and the kid's 15. He's a star baseball player.
You blanked Wade Boggs' daughter.
No, so let's think about this, Tuttle, because there could be a scenario where you got this 15 to 16-year-old kid. He's a star baseball prospect. He's going to make it to the big leagues or whatever, and then you start seeing him on the news, and you're like, he's from Fort Myers. You start putting two and two together. He looks like you.
Yeah, and he's got a humongous head.
I thought we did a great job today on the game, and I hope to win again. And you know, come on, guys.
You're like, oh my God!
You're like, holy ass,
that's my son. And then
you jump in one of your PT Cruisers and you take off.
No, but so what this could be your ticket, Tuttle. Like, but so
yes,
but
it's a big opportunity. Like, this could be my way out of what I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah. Which is
we don't know what it is.
Extreme poverty and depression.
It's Groundhog's Day at a place I call the Hobo Fish Camp.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
That's just called Hogs Day.
It's just Hogs Day. But it's just, I mean, it's the same stuff over and over again. It's like next thing I know, I wake up I work out, I do my show. By the time that's done, I talk to some random girl I'm trying to hook up with or make connections with on Tinder or Snapchat. And then, oh my God, it's 6 o'clock. The sun's going down. Now I got to work out again and smoke as much weed until I can go to sleep.
So do you fish anymore? What happened to
what
fish?
happened to fishing and shrimping?
No. The fishing has been absolutely horrible here. Like, I can't even keep, like, I mean, the fish are so small. I used to pass off undersized fish to the Mexicans. I would stomp on them with my shoe to flatten them out to get some length out of them.
Okay, you know what? I thought you were crazy at first, but now that I know that you're trying to scam by flattening your fish, I am pro. I know that's a hot take, and I'm not even trying to be hot. I just feel like if you're going to try to get some value out of an undersized fish, stomping it is the correct play.
Yes, it does. You can flatten a fish out and get some
I've
length.
never heard of that. I never thought to flatten my fish.
Yeah,
before I
you
sell them
flatten
to
a fish,
I would flatten a fish. I'm saying
neighbors.
I've never thought to flatten a fish before I sell it to my Mexican friends.
So, Tuttle, what would you do if you saw Tuttle Jr. on the news or whatever,
TJ.
out of Fort Myers? He's going to be an MLB prospect. I mean, listen, he could be the next. What's that?
And he's like, "Are you my padre?" That's a baseball joke.
And because I feel
Don't laugh at that.
I've already got it. I've already got exactly what I do. I still have my baseball glove that I played high school and college baseball in.
All right.
And I would meet, well, see, but then you said he's 15 or 16. It would be my luck. I would get picked up by the authorities for being a pedophile.
Of your own son.
On my own son. I'd be like, but no, I would come up to him and be like, hey, great game, kid. Would you like to play some catch? That sounds very pedophilia.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you just bust out with it immediately?
Also,
does that sound too much like a money grab if you're like, I'm your dad?
No, well, there's two ways to look at it, because the kid that remembered or knew their dad like left town or like went out to go buy a pack of cigarettes and never came back.
Like the Madden brothers from Good Charlotte.
Yeah, and then you despise that person, and if you ever try to come back to try to money grab you, you shame him.
Now wait a minute. What if he comes back with the cigarettes?
That's just like as a launcher, passed away. Wilson.
Yeah, what if he comes back and he's like, I didn't lie to you. I didn't lie to you.
But you're in a position where you can claim, and this has happened, where you're like, your mom never told me you existed, so I had no idea. And I think that kind of dad that's never there gets a pass, because the kid's like, well, you didn't know I was here, so how would you ever?
Well, you have to make sure the kid understands that. Because he will still blame you.
Well, no, but you can say, like, your mom never told me. I didn't leave.
Yeah, but the kid's just like, I don't care.
How are you supposed to? Hold on. How could you be mad if you never knew?
Well, then I never knew.
Yeah.
Then you'd be mad at the mom, right?
Yeah.
For not okay. Yeah, as long as they're mad at mom, I'm fine with it.
So then, Tuttle, it's getting in there so that you start off heavy with, I'm not doing this to get any of your money.
No, I don't think you can ever mention that.
I want to.
No, because they're going to think you're wanting the money.
Yeah.
When you say you don't want it, they're like, oh, yeah, he wants the money.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mention the money. I'd act as if I would fake a physical ailment, too.
Oh, well, yeah.
You need a little bit of sympathy.
Yeah.
You want them to feel like they need to set you up in a cool house, right?
Times are ticking. Well, yeah. The thing is, you start off with asking you don't want any money, but that's a complete lie.
You
of course, you want
a breakdown at some point where you're holding the glove and you're like about to give it to him, but then you have to break down and be like, you don't understand how many years I dreamed of actually getting to play catch with a child of my own, and now I have one. I don't. I need a moment. Then you got to walk away.
Right.
You got to do all that manipulative. You got to really get in there and mess him up good in his brain.
Then you stomp the fish.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have two scenarios here, okay? So the mother never tells my son that's a baseball prospect, probably second or third round in the MLB draft.
That's good.
Okay,
yeah.
But he only has a mother. This kid is a mama's boy. Okay, he's been with his mom the whole time. Now, when you get in that locker room, baseball teams are notorious for messing with him. They love to use the F word for gays, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just like Justin Thomas does. Yeah.
Yeah. So he comes to me when he finds out, Dad, I need your help. I need to learn how to be a man. And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, hell, I'm not even a man. So, so I have to fake my way around. It's a father-son buddy comedy that will get picked up by Disney.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't have gone Disney for you.
Yeah,
you're much more of a
Cartoon Network, Adult Swim.
Adult Swim, yeah.
Or my kid develops a huge drinking problem from the stresses of trying to make it to the big show, and he sees my problems with alcohol. He comes to me, and I take him to his first AA meeting, and I am his sponsor.
Yeah, but then he convinces you the drinking is the way.
Yeah. Also,
then you relapse. And then it's about both of you trying to turn both of your lives back to good.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's probably if you did have a kid, it's 99.9% chance it's just regular Fort Myers white trash. Right? They're not being a star baseball player.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anything good.
Yeah, somewhere this guy is refilling his blueberry vape juice.
Yeah. It's just the chances are.
Yeah.
So, Tuttle, what?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to find out who you're interviewing because I'm still fascinated that you interviewed the CEO of Verizon Wireless or whatever that guy
they're good buddies.
mentioned.
No, Boost Mobile.
Oh,
He's the creator of Boost Mobile.
Yeah.
He is. He's from Australia. God damn it, I can't even remember his name now.
But they're buddies. Like, doesn't he text you?
They're not buddies.
Yeah, no, he texts me all the time.
No, how could that be, Tuttle? How could the owner of Boost Mobile care? Like, how does he have the time? It doesn't
do you
make
want to
sense.
see the YouTube video I did with him?
I saw it. That's why I'm claiming.
Okay, so I talk to him all the time. Do you realize my other part-time job? You want to know what I do? As soon as I get done with this interview right now, I am going on. I host and moderate job interviews for people in the Texas, San Antonio, Houston area that want to get hired for Boost Mobile. And then I do.
You're talking to the vice president of Boost Mobile right now.
Hold on.
Boom, joke's on you. I knew this. I knew, but I didn't want to say anything. You're talking to the vice president of Boost Mobile in your face. Boom, shakalaka.
Hold on, your other job is you recruit and hire.
He is on the hiring staff
for Boost Mobile in some county in Texas. How does that work?
Once again, guys, I sell Mexicans to fish. I grew up. Daniel can attest to this.
He hustles,
okay? In DeLeon Springs.
That's true, yeah.
Mexicans were the majority, and then it went Caucasians were the minority, and then it went African Americans. So I am able to communicate and relate with my Mexican brethren and hire, and that's what's in the San Antonio, Houston area. And you wouldn't believe one of the biggest things is that they want them to speak Spanish.
They put him on the payroll. He's a Boost Mobile recruiter, vice president of recruiting.
I was about to say, you don't know how to speak Spanish, right, Tuttle?
I can understand it, but I really cannot speak it. I mean, your kids, I'm probably, you know what? Your kids are probably better than me.
Who do we know who speaks Spanish? Tony. Let's call Tony.
Only Tony Rick.
All my friends are from Miami, but who knows what they're doing?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Patrick Fowler. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo estás?
No.
Mi amigo?
There's no way. There's no way you understand
he
Spanish.
He convinced me. I'm in. I would like Boost Mobile, please.
So you convinced.
Tell me about your plans, Patrick.
No, okay, for people that, this all started because one day Daniel called me in the office. He's like, look at Tuttle talking to the CEO.
I said, Tuttle is interviewing the CEO of Boost Mobile. And you said, no, it's not.
Then I came in and I watched the Zoom video or whatever on YouTube, and it was the owner of Boost Mobile sitting in a mansion or what looks like
I'm sitting at a hobo fish camp rec room.
It looked like I'm a gentleman that looked rich, like little Epstein-y. Not that he was that, but I was saying like rich guy.
They have a look,
gray hair, whatever. But in the background, looked like the goddamn Hogwarts or whatever. Like it looked like a mansion,
it looked like a troll bank.
And then you on the bottom screen talking to him, obviously, you're in a RV of some sort or whatnot, and it looked like Timothy McVeigh talking to.
Yeah, it does look like this.
Oh, the
some
Unabomber.
It looked like the Unabomber talks to some sort of billionaire trying to get him to do his bidding.
It looks like billionaire ask young man why he did the bombings.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
And I laughed, and then I said, "How did
It
this
looks
happen?"
like McAfee interviews Rivers Cuomo from Weezer.
Then I said, "How did this guy not look at
Because
who am I
Tuttle
talking to?"
is constantly hustling.
Yeah, but
Now,
I
you
imagine
wanna
the
be honest-
owner of Boost Mobile is a busy person.
They hired him. It's his job.
Yeah, but then
He sold Boost Mobile, and now he is about to start his new endeavor, which is called X Mobile. And Tom, just to let you know, everything that you and Daniel have done for me, he is he's wanting to take this ground roots advertising marketing scheme that he's wanting to do to be able to do his new endeavor, and he's wanting to advertise with podcasting instead of terrestrial radio. So I'm looking out for you, Tom, but if you want to make fun of me, buddy, I mean, that's fine.
Oh, so he's got that X-Mobile juice, and you're...
I'm not.
Why do all of these interviews end up with you and him fighting at the end?
I'm not making fun of anything.
He just doesn't...
No, you're just saying that you're wondering why. It's just jealousy. You're like, how the hell does this nerd get to interview the CEO of Boost Mobile and X Mobile? That's exactly what it is. You don't have faith in me. You think you are better than me.
No,
that's
I
the
do.
fact.
Hold on.
He thinks he's better than me.
That's not. I don't think I'm better than anybody. But what I'm having hard times coming to grips with is the fact that this guy who's seemingly super rich and powerful in some sort of element, right? I mean, he's richer than all of us, right? We at least agree on that. And I would assume has certain an idea of how media works. And I understand getting into small batch podcasting is a right way to
What's the
go.
guy's name?
Are you trying to be so hipster that you're calling it now small batch podcasting?
No.
Seriously. I mean, it's just
How
podcasting.
does he? Why does he?
Is the guy Peter? Is
How?
That his name?
Yeah, Peter Adderton.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is a legitimate... I'm looking him up now. I mean, he is...
But Tuttle, you understand? I would, because even if that guy was talking to us, I would say, why aren't you talking to the podcasts that are bigger than us that you have money? Why aren't you talking to the... I mean, I guess Bert Kreischer and the Tom Seguros are too big, but you take a step down from that, there's a bunch of, you know what I'm saying? There's different categories. There's big nationwide podcasts that have nationwide reach. I'm just
You don't want him to talk to us anymore?
No,
you don't score any goals on shots you don't take. So just because you think that he is too big or too good for you and you don't ask, you're not going to get that. And it also helps.
Did you lie to him? How did you do it, Tuttle? Because
I have an amazing producer, Vulture. I know that you guys think that this is some weirdo or something like that.
Honestly, we don't know what it is. Yeah, I thought for a split second, I thought it was an
actual. You think it's me? Be honest.
No, for a split second, I thought it was an actual vulture, like a real, like a bird. Ornithology is what I thought it was.
With one of those green plastic accountant hats.
Yeah. Like the visor. The visor. Like you're cashing in chips at a casino.
Yeah.
The
green accountant visor.
Let me ask you guys an honest question. In your first year, how many sponsors did you guys get?
0.
Now, podcasting was not that big back
0.
then.
We had no sponsors first year.
Well, I just picked up my 6th sponsorship, Starfire Transports. They can haul anything that you want to. Check out their website, starfiretransports.com, or you can call my guy Brian. He'll hook you up. So, I mean, I'm just picking up my 6th thing, and it's all due to Vulture. I only have to see. You need to get yourself a Vulture and dump Dobson.
I know that.
So get rid of Dobson and get Vulture.
Well, how much do you have to pay Vulture?
Now, no. Here, now, how about this, okay? I'm a big soccer fan. Daniel's a big soccer fan.
I am indeed.
I think you're a poser soccer fan, Tom.
Okay.
That's nice.
We can do this because in soccer, you have to buy the rights to the player And then you got to pay his own salary. So, you got to pay me for the rights. If you want a vulture on your team, I mean, let's talk here if that's what we're wanting to do, because I mean, he's gotten me a lot of sponsorships. He's getting me a lot of interviews. I don't have to worry anything behind the scenes. How good would it be if Tom and Dan just had to roll up like the rock stars you guys are and deserve to be treated? Just have to roll up, could be hungover as hell, could still be drunk. Who cares?
I like this idea.
Just crack open the mic and talk.
Yeah. Don't have to do anything.
Well,
I hate all this other work.
Hold on. I'm listening.
yeah. What is it?
Yeah.
What does it entail? What?
No,
So he does everything?
Yes, and
We're
he's also a
stealing
military
Vulture
guy.
from you.
Yeah.
And he is a military guy and great at hand-to-hand combat. None of that
Nice.
that big fat guy that did the ninjutsu type stuff back in the day. But yeah, so Vulture can only take care of you physically and personally and business-wise.
What is it?
That's a couple.
Wait,
He's
hold
good,
on.
he's
Oh,
good
my
at
God.
certain things.
tuck
If you
you
know
in
what
the
I
bed.
mean.
He'll,
What does it couple? What does that do? He pecks it.
He'll peck at it. He'll swat it. And he'll claw it a few times.
If I'm just being
vomit
honest,
his
I got
acid
lost
on
in my
him.
words. If I'm just being honest, I got lost in my words and sounded stupid there.
I-
It's fine. It's all good. We got to get out of here at some point anyway. So.
All right, so back to what's going on with you, Tuttle. So now I know you've been getting more sponsors, and but you've fallen into this like every day is the same thing, and I think that's where the grind kicks in, and
The routine of it, yeah.
and then you just have to be, because that happens to me too. At the beginning of the year, I'm like motivated. And then halfway into January, I'm
God,
like,
it's Wednesday. I'm already out.
I'm like, God, all this work's not paying off, because we are a society and human beings, I think, want an instant payoff. And then I constantly have to remind myself it's not about the payoff, it's about the grind. And then once it pays off, it's not even really, it doesn't even feel good, because you started the grind so long ago that the payoff, like, of course it happened.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Corona.
yeah, it's been a constant grind, and you guys got to think I'm doing this every single day because I'm really going overboard. I wish I was big as you guys that I could just do 5 days a week, but I'm even doing Saturdays and Sundays, and sometimes it just doesn't even feel like it's worth it, because like Saturdays is my lowest day, because Saturdays are people are sleeping in and then they're going out and trying to do things that they can. And that's usually my lowest day when it comes to my download. So I'm like, kind of like, why am I even bothering on Saturdays?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd do a Saturday show unless you enjoy it.
Tuttle,
I haven't done one in the last 2 weeks.
I'm now gonna talk you into quitting. And here it
Okay.
goes. So
Do you want me to cut that part out, or is that okay to leave in?
By the way, before I just got a text from Vulture. He wanted me to ask you, and I don't know who he sent it to, but I wanna find out if you had a chance to look over his business proposal.
I did.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
forwarded it to Tom. I know for a fact he did not
Tom
look
didn't
at
even
it.
read it.
Yes, I
No,
did.
no. He read it, but he thought it was for me,
I
and he
texted
said
Daniel
it was fantastic.
back an emoji of a gun, and then saying he's coming to get us.
Yeah, he did. Actually, that is true.
And this is the beginning of the circle note.
He asked me, I forwarded the business proposal to Tom, and Tom said, how do I decode this to see the ransom note?
We're just messing
All
around.
right. No, you.
Tuttle,
I mean,
now I'm going to try to convince you to quit.
Okay.
all right, go ahead.
So, is it even possible nowadays
To start now and be successful?
well, to even
he turned his camera off.
to be able to
No,
do
I
it.
did not.
There about.
I'm here. I'm just
You're not Bear.
My
He's Bear.
low battery message came on. And I guess it cut out the camera.
Vulture, bring the power bank.
Is it even possible nowadays to even build an audience with so much distraction and infinite content? It's like, imagine starting a hot dog stand on the corner of a city where every single corner had a hot dog stand, right? Like literally there's a hot dog stand.
I wouldn't do that. I'm not stupid.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like when there's 10 million hot dog stands and you start yours, yes,
But mine's different.
you can make the best quality hot dogs you possibly can within the margins of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But everybody's tastes are different, so your best quality hot dog may not be as good as the other one that's lower quality, but the people like that one better.
They're already invested.
Everybody has different tastes. Everybody goes to their particular hot dog stand, jumps around.
Will you quit?
I'm just saying, how is it possible, Tuttle? Is it even worth a try at this point to even garner an audience that you can, you grind out? Is it going to pay off? I'm telling you this. I'm talking actually to myself, to every, luckily we were able to, get an audience to start, and we're trying to hold on to, everybody is because there's infinite distractions. You're just.
Will you quit?
Yes. Did I convince
I'm
you?
not quitting, because at my hot dog stand, it's going to be a front for illegal drugs. So when you order mustard, you get cocaine. Relish, you get methamphetamine. Ketchup is ecstasy. Ooh. And if you order a Chicago-style hot dog, that is a straight-up stuffing scenario where the drugs hit you even harder.
I did, Tuttle. I did think about this a long time ago, and I was thinking podcast business is a great business to launder money through. Did you ever watch Ozark?
Oh, no. I've written a script. Now, everybody, all the NASCAR movies, if you think about it, all the NASCAR movies in the world have always been pretty successful at the box office.
Yeah,
and
they're good.
I'm working on a script where a Mexican cartel starts a NASCAR race team. And now think about this. How much money a year could you launder? Because, you could say, oh, I had to take the car in the wind tunnel to test it at Talladega and Daytona for next year. Oh, who can say that I didn't spend $1 million or $2 on research and development in the wind tunnel? Oh, I need an extra pair of tires for next weekend's race. Yeah, go ahead. That's how you're going to launder your money. And I'm telling you right now, this is going to be the best drama comedy buddy duo that you've ever seen.
Well, the only problem with that is that you're like, I spent $1 million on tires, and then they're like, from what company? I'm like, oh God, Ron! He's got a gun! Because it's as easy as them just finding the company, the tire company. And
so what, are you against capitalism or something?
No.
I got to buy them from a certain brand of person? Or what, are you a Democrat now, Tom Van?
I'm saying that how to launder money, that's why they use casinos and other like cash companies.
Yeah, but you have to show a loss. That's the key to laundering money. Yes, you don't want to make too much money. Have you ever watched the Ozarks? How many times did Marty freak out that somebody brought some extra income in? That's the whole key about it. You want to make it look like you're losing some money, but you're really, really not losing some money.
You're losing the point of laundering. You need to get with a company that's already a front for something. They make they need
my NASCAR team is the front.
Well, I'm not a movie. I'm talking about real life here. You find a company and there's plenty. I know in Miami there's a bunch. There's probably a bunch
Miami
up here.
Subs.
There's companies that literally, like, I believe the old sub shop I used to work at when I was a teenager, what happened is the mob or whoever the hell owned it, they would say, hey, this sub shop makes X amount, this sub shop makes $190,000 a year profit, right? But it doesn't. It barely stays alive. It just earns money to pay the stupid teens that work
just there to exist.
But the $190,000 is actually the money the mob made on drugs, but they're laundering it through the sub shop so that it comes out clean to the other side, and they're like, my sub shop made this much money, and therefore they can spend it. So you need a company that can pretend like they're paying you $100,000 a year for advertising, and then cooking the books that way, and then technically they're just paying you to tell the government that. Anyway, there's a whole laundering thing. You'd have to read about it, but that's where you go into crime.
What if you get the wind tunnel guys in on it, the tire guys? You give them a little bit of percentage. Listen,
it's harder.
I've learned a lot about this. I think I've told you guys this story before, but my dad was welding hidden compartments in people's vans and stuff. And I remember, because I was actually out there on the day that they raided the place, they dug up that whole property because there was a rumor that the guy had almost 50 barrels filled up with stacks of $100 bills. So 55-gallon barrels, 50 of those buried throughout the thing. And I got to tell you, me and my buddies went out there one time after they didn't find all of them, just looking for one of those 55-gallon barrels filled with $100 bills.
Hold on. So
where is it?
There's a. Well, that's what we do.
I'm down.
I don't want to do any of this, Tuttle. Look how hard this is.
Okay,
You're
so
doing those shows. We need to find one of those barrels.
We need a backhoe.
Yeah.
We need a couple
Well,
of
that's the
backhoes.
thing. No, but my
Who's got
dad
a
was a
metal
welder,
detector?
and I'm glad you bring up backhoes, is because my dad, when the gears would break down, they would hire him to weld up the gears, grind them down so they would actually fit with each other. And that's what he was. I was actually helping my dad that day when they raided the place looking for the 55-gallon drums. And I'm telling you right now, they said there were 50 of them, and they only found, I think, 37 or 38 of them. Now, just imagine how many $100 bills you can fit in a 50-gallon or 55-gallon drum.
Now, it would make probably logical
This
sense.
is in
that
Astor, Florida. Daniel knows where Astor
Yeah,
is.
I know where it's
the
at.
guy who buried him probably told his buddies or something. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that they were still out there would be almost
Wait,
ridiculous.
this is-
Unless you buried one. I mean, if you watch Cocaine Cowboys, they'll
there's
tell
stuff
you
buried
they
everywhere.
buried
Yeah.
tons of money that they forgot where it was just too much. So they're I mean, a small possibility, but it seems.
This was back in the 90s. GPS was not as great as it was back then. And do you think any of those rednecks back in the day in Upper Volusia County knew how to actually pinpoint where they buried their 55-gallon drums? No, they probably wrote it down on a piece of loose leaf paper.
Yeah. It could be. Well, that's the next project, Tuttle. Find out where we can go. I'll handle metal detectors. Daniel will pack the lunch, and then we'll
Why am I gonna pack a lunch?
Well, you need to do. What are you
I
gonna
can
do?
get some shovels.
Daniel
I'll
get shovels.
I'll make a few calls. I mean,
Hey,
it's closer
can-
to DeLand. I can get us some backhoes.
We'll all split it. What's the possibility Tuttle kills us
Can we
when
get
find
Tommy
it?
and Max out there
Bring
and
your
tell
gun.
them we're building sandcastles and
no,
having dinner?
we can't
No,
bring the
I'm
kids
not
out
bring-
there. There'll be some bloodshed.
Yeah, yeah.
One
because-
of us is getting killed to keep that extra percentage.
Yeah. Because when that shovel hits the top of the barrel, then we all
Somebody's
start.
getting shot.
Look,
We all start shooting
I
each
may
other.
not even show up because I know I'm the weakest, and I just don't want to get killed.
Yeah.
I might wait until you guys fight it out and then pop out of the bushes and shoot whoever's left.
That's a smart one.
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna be in the bushes.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
hey, wait, did Daniel show up? And then Tom's like, "Let's hurry up!" And then you guys are wrestling, and then Tom overpowers you eventually. It's a tough fight. It takes about an
No,
hour.
my dad will be 100 yards away.
Oh yeah, no, that'd
Having
be
a
bad.
30-06 balanced up against his walker that
That
has
would be
tennis
bad.
balls at the bottom of it, like lining you up, and I'd be like, I just have to make one little signal. Be like,
Yeah.
Well, I'm bringing Mike B, and he's waiting in the car.
Oh,
And
no,
I'm-
he fell asleep. And then I come out of the bushes with my hands up. I hand my gun to Tuttle's dad, and then I split it with him.
Oh, you know, I
Yeah,
know.
well, he breaks me off like maybe 3%. He's like, "Get the hell out of here, you pussy." And I'm like, "Yes, sir."
That's just because the radio
Yeah,
days
and
he
then
liked you.
he's like, "I liked you on the radio." And then I run away from Tuttle's dad. You'll never speak. I know, Mr. Fowler. I'll say nothing.
all right, I think we kind of.
That was grim.
we did-
That was grim.
that scenario would actually probably happen. Huh?
Why does every segment I do with you just seem like it's the visual and audio version of a serial killer taping like letters he cut out of a magazine to send for a ransom note? It's
I don't
just
know
all
why
over.
we always go in that area.
I don't know. We get the vibe of,
Yeah, like the first thing I always thought, like today, like I thought of, I was like I always go to extremes. Like I was walking over to Publix. I'm like, if they don't have the sub I want, I'll burn this place down. Like everything is always like to extremes. It's not healthy.
Streams
Now,
is
my
the best.
brain-
It's
my
X Games,
brain-
not just
my
the
brain
game.
does my brain does this to me every time. The weirdest situations, like if I'm around meeting with somebody personally, it's like I bet you my brain will be like, don't punch them in the face, don't punch them in the face. or if I hold a baby, throw it out the window, throw it out the window.
okay.
It's just like weird things like that. Like
That's
a cop
just-
waiting at McDonald's,
How-
grab his gun.
Oh my God.
How did the CEO of Boost Mobile call you, Tuttle? How?
Because I am cut
How-
outside of the boring cloth. Tom Van, you become too business. I can see Daniel's one to take chances, but you're like, oh, we gotta play it safe. We gotta protect the business. And
He's always telling me to, oh, hey, can you be a little more informational and a little less funny?
Wait, so now, is Daniel the straight man, and now you're the funny guy? Like, I don't understand. Like, how did that go?
He's taking shots. That was a subtle shot. We have to get out of here.
All right,
man. I love you guys.
I
I
love you
appreciate
too, buddy.
everything
Hey,
you do for
plug
me.
your show.
Yeah.
You haven't listened.
No, I am. Plug it.
I'm messing.
plug your show.
I'm just joking.
It's the Tuttle Show or something.
Yeah, it's the Tuttle Daily
It's
podcast.
the Tuttle Daily podcast, available on all platforms. Guys, I love you, and I really appreciate you for letting my lame ass on your amazing show.
Stop it, man. We love you too. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, bye.
All right,
Bye,
buddy.
see ya.
Later. That is Tuttle, live from...
The more he compliments us, the more it means less and less. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you think you're just saying that at this point?
You still take it, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you still got to
But
take
I was just like, where? You're going to be telling me this? I'm like,
He does look and
gunpoint?
sound good. He's been sober for quite some time.
Yeah. No. I think he's doing good. Also, this is better suited for him working for himself.
Oh, yeah.
Grinding it out.
Yeah.
It's just hard,
He can't be
man.
around
God.
other people because he'll kill them. So, so for the best.
All right. Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, no Sam, extra butler, Fisher here. We have guests. Let's get the business out of the way. Anything to plug, sir?
I will plug that you can join our texting service just by texting the show number. Text BDM to the show number. Daniel, what's the show number?
1-844-TOMNDAN. That's 1-844-TOM, the letter N, Dan.
And once you opt in, it'll send you an auto reply saying you're in now, and you'll get text from us, and you can text us questions or whatever you want directly. So that's brand new for 2021.
Yes.
So what's also brand new is a new sponsor of ours, and I wanted to. Now, most of everybody already knows this gentleman from other shows, from Real Radio.
What?
Yeah, and so, but in 2021, the DeWitt Law Firm is one of our new.
Just call
On the go.
This is embarrassing.
On the go.
Just call Mo.com.
Need we say
There it is. It's an honor for me to play that creation in front of you.
It's really embarrassing. It doesn't mean anything.
It's an honor for me to be able to share my
Well,
gift.
taglines read wrong. It's injured on the go. Just go.
I
Mo.
know, but I-
That was just on the go.
That was too clunky. I had to eliminate that. I do
Well,
look,
he invented it. It's his
look,
company.
Some people are good at law, and some people are good at advertising. All right?
How you doing, Mo?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Good.
This is already off to a bad start, I feel like.
So today we're gonna do a little chatting with the masters with you, and also a little bit of
Did you know
Tom
the
and
fun
Dan
fact?
history.
Here
Rob.
is a fun fact. All jokes aside, do you know that the stupid just called that thing? Do you know that Christine laughed so hard it broke her water and she had her baby? I'm a hero.
Oh, you gotta name your baby Mo now. See, that's
That's
it.
awesome.
Boy,
What a great
girl,
name.
whatever.
Moses, lay him in the reeds, right down the river. Don't do that. We need
so-
to keep our babies.
So I don't know which we should start with, but maybe we'll start with some T&D history that we didn't really talk about too much.
I think this is pretty interesting because this is when you and I honestly were, I don't know, floundering a bit.
Yeah. Freaking out.
Drowning a bit.
And I thought about this too, because for whatever reason, when you work, and I think it's mainly as a personality in the terrestrial radio world, if you form this paranoia, and it is justified because if you think about it, you are told from day one of being hired that you could be fired at any time, right? It's based on ratings, based on whatever. Like you never know, and that was the whole thing. It's you never knew when your last day was gonna be. They were just waiting outside the door.
That's the radio cliche for sure.
Yeah, and we've seen it happen, and so everybody that worked as at least under the personality realm. Had that ingrained in their heads every day of work. So imagine you show up to every day, you're like, today could be my last day. And even if you didn't really care, like me or Daniel, it still has some sort of psychological effect.
Does. Yeah, it has an effect on you over time, sure.
And I believe it ups your paranoia level. And then I think that, and what made me think this even more is once I got out of the radio world, and then when I have interactions with other people in the radio world, I'm like, why are you so paranoid, bro? And then I forget.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, of course you are, because I was too. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
you can feel it. It is an underlying, and I'm sure there are other jobs. Like we have some listeners in our Twitch chat room that are saying they can feel that at work. So I wouldn't say that it's only radio.
No.
But there are
I have no other
specific
experience
type of businesses and professions where I feel like that underlying, and it can amplify itself.
Yeah,
and for guys like me that have anxiety, not necessarily a good thing to deal with.
Yeah. So anyway, me and Daniel were probably extra paranoid or over paranoid. And it was the time where all the, you guys know, all the podcast stuff was going on and whatever. So we were like, we need to talk to a lawyer because we're afraid of getting sued because we're looking at our backs and we're like, oh my God, they're coming to get us. And so I
would only use the side stairwell whenever I would. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. We asked Sean, and he was like, "Oh, you got to talk to Mo."
Well, we had to go to the only person we know that can navigate both the regular web and the dark web. We needed someone who's both good and shady at the same time. We needed.
He should be called a webmaster.
Yeah. Wow, that's good.
Write that down. Can we?
We
copyright that.
Yeah, we needed some help, and the rest.
Yeah, so Sean Wasson from the News Junkie said, you got to talk to Mo, my buddy, my lawyer, Mo. And we had a secret meeting at Sean's house. I'm not sure if Sean wants to announce that, about. I don't know. I mean, that's fine.
He's moved at this point.
Okay, he did have piranhas.
He had piranhas, and we were formulating.
We were feeding the piranhas.
Our plan to attack the station
with the piranhas. Mass amount of piranhas. They were like,
take the station over with piranhas, a la Airheads, and then hold it hostage.
Yeah. Then when we're done, we'll throw them into Lake Yule.
We'll stop them flat and sell them.
Foolproof plan.
Yeah. So Mo actually sat down and talked to us in Sean's apartment.
Yeah.
And we were telling him all, I
think I was crying in a beanbag chair.
So I appreciate the help with that.
And I think that's before Sean had the midday show. I think he was on at 5 a.m. or 4
yeah.
a.m.
That was a long time ago.
Because I wasn't on the air with him at that point. And he just asked me, he's like, can you come to my apartment? Because he lived downtown. And it was like at 2 o'clock. I don't think he told me why I was coming. And I just showed up, and you two were there, and you had your contracts, which were horrific contracts.
Real bad.
Oh, you should see the new one.
Minus pictures, stick figures written.
Well, I draw pictures near the contract item so I know what it means.
And needless to say, that helped us. Also, this is a other little known fact that the first dollar ever made
by our company.
We should have a plaque, like a sub shop.
No, we needed the money too much. No, we needed every dollar too much to frame one. That was not like.
But the first dollar TND Media ever made was by doing video work for the DeWitt law firm, and it was at the time where we first started the company. We needed, during that time, we didn't have any advertisers, barely had any BDMs, and we needed other ways to supplement our income.
It's like an odd job we were doing.
Yeah, and then we were like, man, well, what do we know? And I'm like, Daniel knows how to produce and edit videos really well. He's done it for a lot of people before.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we know how to write commercials. We were just using whatever we learned and trying to apply that to.
It was like
make
might as
side
well have been
money.
an Etsy shop for all intensive purposes.
And that's what kind of led us into work with Orlando City and stuff. But the first videos we ever made, and I don't even know how that came about. Do you remember, Mo? I think
somebody asked us.
I think again it was through Sean, because I think I asked Sean, I was like, you know any video guys? Because I don't know if you guys know the history of how I know Sean.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I actually don't think I've ever told this story before, but so we hired a company out of Chicago to do our website and search engine optimization, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And Sean was our account rep, and so they flew Sean down here, and he showed up in his one blazer in my office. I don't even think I worked at the law firm at the time. I went over after hours to meet him, and he was our account rep. And then halfway through our contract with him, he called me. He's like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm leaving the company, yada, yada. I think maybe he told me he was moving to Orlando. I was like, do you mind if I ask what you're doing? And he goes, well, I got this job at Real Radio, and I'm moving to 55 West. I was like, well, I'm staring at 55 West out my window right now, and I listen to Real Radio all the time.
Yeah.
And then, a few months went by, I didn't talk to him or anything. And then as I was leaving the office every day, there was this guy sitting in Finn Henry's, and I was like, I was like, he looks really familiar.
Are you sure this is Sean? I don't know.
He's never been there before.
He's
You don't
not
really
the bar
bars.
type,
Yeah.
is he?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd only
Finn
met.
Andrews a library.
Yeah,
He's more of
it's a public library.
24-hour fitness guy, isn't he?
But I'd only met him once, so I didn't really recognize him. So I had to like pull up his Facebook, and I like matched the tattoo on his arm on his like his Facebook picture to him. I was like, "That's that guy from the web company."
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
just started talking to him and hanging out with him because he was there every day when I was leaving the office, and we became friends from there. And then
Wow, that's awesome.
the rest is history. Yeah.
That is cool. It's
What a
small world,
coincidence,
yeah.
too. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you talked to him when he was in Chicago, because I remember when he came from Chicago, and he
Yeah.
started doing the ultra like pre-morning show from like 5 to 6.
Yeah, 5
Right.
to 6. Early.
Yeah. So, God, what are the chances? Random. Anyway, so you asked Sean, and Sean referred us because I think we were telling everybody, like, hey, you know anybody that wants
We'll do
videos?
really mediocre videos for you if you need them done.
And then I remember talking to you about it, and then like, what do you need? And then
I remember going to do
Sometimes
the
you need-
videos, and I had like I had a digital SLR and
yeah,
a
yeah.
tripod.
yeah,
Yep.
and
And
I,
then Tom had a yellow legal pad that he stolen from me. And
I was
and he
dressed
bo-
as director. I was
and he
wearing a
borrowed,
beret.
he borrowed a pin, and he was wearing a beret and a small ascot.
posing as the director.
And his role when we would shoot these is I would just hit record and square up the shot and make sure we were shooting, what we were shooting was what we wanted, the shot that we wanted. And then you would ask questions and act as if you were
You're directing
like you were the
like,
mad genius, like you were the grand
Aw.
conductor grabbing all of the pieces, and then later you were going to stitch them together into what can only be described as a celluloid and film masterpiece.
Mo,
It
Mo,
was quite
Mo, you must have known that we didn't know
Yeah,
what the
Mo,
hell we
you're
were
like
doing.
these dickheads. These guys don't know what they're doing
Oh,
because
yeah.
Tom's like, give me that again. Just be a little more legally.
I remember you sent me like a sample. I think it was like a NASCAR video. You're like, we do this all the time. We can do something great.
Or you gotta, Mo.
Oh yeah, the Coca-Cola
You gotta
video.
fake
Yeah.
it till you make it.
I did a video for NASCAR,
Yeah,
but that one, I was able to put it a little. Yeah, I could put in some 38 special. I could put some flames in there.
We knew a lot of
blow up some-
NASCAR.
I could put American Eagle, but
Yeah, we
the
know what
law
that
thing,
audience likes.
I mean, I could have put the Eagles in the law video.
I think it would have worked.
And I remember shooting that day, and then when me and Daniel were leaving, we were like, do you think they bought it and thought we were professional? And we're like, nah, they do. I mean, we'll do a good job.
Well, I looked down and I wasn't wearing shoes, and I had a bandage around my head like a Civil War drummer, and there was blood all over it. I was
had an
virtually
old-
certain you didn't believe it.
I had a barrel with straps.
Yeah, he looked like an old.
Hard to walk in a barrel. They don't
It is.
depict that well enough.
It is very, very. It's even
You
harder.
gotta take long steps.
It's even harder to go number one because you have to lift it up over your head, and then you're just going blind.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was the first money our company has ever made.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, that day, I remember thinking that, all right.
Right. Immediately following, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings and ordered $1,000 worth of garbage.
Yeah. We immediately were like, all
Yeah,
right.
we're like drinks for everybody.
Yeah.
Who wants a soft pretzel?
Or like start making the TND shirts. That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need shirts that has,
put our faces on these shirts. We're rich.
But I did think, I was like, well, if we made money, like this could work. Like honestly, sometimes it's just the first transaction of a business, and it really does give you
It was
confidence that
inspiring,
this is this is a possibility. But so thank you for that.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
For the record, the videos were good. We put them on the website. They lived there for a while.
Yeah.
They serve the purpose.
Yeah, and so it's just it's a cool Tom and Dan piece of history that now you're
like
on board
desperation.
and you're advertising. So let's go back from the beginning, Mo, and let's talk about how first you started working. For the DeWitt law firm, and what was your path getting into being a lawyer and a prominent lawyer now in Orlando?
So I went to law school, took the bar, became a lawyer.
That's how you do it.
That's pretty much it. No, I mean, my mom was a lawyer,
Yeah.
so she's the one who originally founded the firm, and it was just a small firm, basically just her for most of it. And she's probably a lot smarter than me. She's kind of super freak lawyer brain, but not very good business brain. So
she's done a lot. Like her
resume's
it's like
is thick.
As far as being a lawyer, it's a super. I was intimidated when we were doing the videos. It was with your mom too.
It is a fun read if you like being impressed. I'll say that. How about that?
Yeah, she went to Cornell Law School, like Ivy League law school. You know, like she knows her stuff. And then so I graduated law school. I was a public defender for a while. Kind of threw me in. Just started doing trials.
Now, let's go back because this is interesting to me because I never had this, and I've seen people that like they're.
Well, that's because you're always the defendant.
I'm always wearing the big baggy suit. My lawyer bought me.
I mean, he is lawyer. You are juggalo.
I'm like, why'd you go to the Magic Mall to buy this pinstripes?
My God, it's purple with like a small pink stripe.
I look like a ska wolf. But if your parents have either a business or own a business or work in a particular type of business, a lot of times I've seen this before where the kids of those parents, like the parents always want, and I can imagine like it would be cool if my sons eventually, I can't see this happening because without us, I don't know, this company just folds up. Like, barely
they
on
could be broadcasters though.
Yeah, they could.
I mean,
doing
lately
something.
my daughter has been like, she now understands that what we do is talking.
Yeah.
So like she thinks it's fun to ask me like, oh, what did you and Mr. Tom talk about? So I try to I dumb it down and make it obviously for little ears.
Yeah.
But I could see it happening, man.
But I know a lot of people that kind of went rejected it at first and like, I'm gonna do something different, and then went and did something different for a while, whatever. But then they went back to the family business.
Sometimes you want to differentiate yourself, right? Like I know that Andrea did. Like her dad would have probably been extremely happy if she went into insurance, but she didn't want to do that.
Yeah. And so, did you have was it always your plan to become a lawyer? Did you have that span of time after like high school or college, or you were trying a different route?
I mean, I always didn't. I mean, just like you said, I was like, no, I'm never going to be a lawyer. I never want to work with my mom. I'm going to do this. I had tons of things that I wanted to do. I had a bunch of like little businesses. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
It seems like at this point at our age, it's like young, naive dreams because of course, like, why wouldn't you? Because there's the connections. It just makes more sense than trying to go do something else. Like, I don't know why. It's just, but for whatever reason, you want to reject the first opportunity because you're like, I'm going to do this.
Well, maybe because you're so enmeshed in it to begin with. I mean, it could be something as simple as being sick of it. Like I know I'm a good salesperson. My dad was a good salesperson, but the idea of me doing that, I don't know. Like it, I instantly wanted. I'm just trying to.
It was his company, like the profession.
No, there's no way I would have wanted to do it.
Like I'm saying, if he worked at a company and then you were like,
we were too much alike. We would have fought the whole time.
Yeah. So you did think about maybe doing something different, but you went back.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of in your blood. You just end up there eventually. Like, I was always very much against it. I was like, I'm not going to do that. Even when I went to law school, I was like, I never want to work with you. I don't want to do this. And then when I graduated, there was no jobs because it was 2010. So it was the foreclosure crisis and everything else.
Sure.
So, most of the people who I went to law school with either went to the state attorney's office or the public defender's office. I ended up at the public defender's office, which was a great experience because I think the first week you're there, they're like, here's a file, go do a trial. And so you do a jury trial. And
really, like they throw you in that quick?
Yeah, I mean,
I hope they say it like that where it rhymes, because like they're like, "Here's the file, go do a trial," and you're like, "What?"
Everything in law has to rhyme. That is the rule.
I like that. Fit, acquit.
I mean, they have someone sit with you on the first one. I know my first one was a shoplifting trial. Some lady who stole something from the Florida Mall, if I remember correctly.
Ooh, what'd she steal? Regret?
After the trial, she did.
That's the only thing left in the Florida Mall, I believe.
And then you just get trial after trial.
I was thinking West Oaks. Apologies. Florida Mall's pretty dope.
No, it's all malls are having a rough go.
I still like them, but I am a Walmartman. I love Walmart.
So you obviously got into working at the DeWitt law firm. and then obviously now, how long was the trial period of like when you first started working? I always wondered this too. Like when you start working, your mom started it, and then you get in there. Is there a lot of hey, you got to like go through the
like
the paying your dues type of deal at the beginning?
I mean, sort of. So, like, even when I was still at the public defender's office, I was helping her with like marketing and stuff, and that's when I think we hired Sean, and I was going over there after hours, kind of helping her with that.
Yeah.
But then once I actually came over, she was just like, "You handle it. I don't want to deal with this anymore."
Yeah.
So any headaches, she would just send my way.
It seems like you like it though.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
Because you have
now.
like more of a. It's almost like a. I would say like. From in the past when you guys were advertising, it seems like now that you're kind of in control of it, it's like hip and maybe a little edgier, maybe a little.
It's me. I mean, you know, before I kind of had to balance it between like her personality and my personality. Now it's my personality.
Right.
So I think it's just kind of like, it's more.
You can hone it a little more.
Yeah. It's just like, this is who I am. If you like me, hire me. If you don't,
sure.
Nice to meet you.
Now, Mo, I not to make it about what I'm looking for, but I know you have an XR one wheel, and it's been a dream of mine to own an
now
XR.
please tell me that the whole reason we're working with Mo now isn't so you can try to scam.
Well, I don't see him riding it that much.
with an extra battery. There's always an ulterior motive.
I'm seeing that now.
I have the old version that Travis sent me a link to buy.
Yeah, but you told me we were doing a chat with the Masters with Mo, and suddenly we're talking about doing some, like, I can already feel it.
Well, no, it's going into this, Mo's helmet.
At some point, I just throw my hands up, and I'm just like, I'm riding along, like, that's fine.
The old one-wheel grip.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, I'm just sitting in his garage. I see it.
Not to freak you out this new into our business relationship, but the number of times that this man has mentioned how many times he has not seen you ride your one wheel,
I was wondering about that.
Has almost reached
a
stalker level. Like, you should not be stalking our lawyer client to see how often he rides his one wheel. That is super creepy and weirdo.
Well, let's talk the helmet charity.
Yeah, and then
we'll weave our way back into it.
God damn it, Daniel, you're killing it. We'll ease
when did you start that?
We started at Helmet Heads of Florida, a couple years ago now? It all kind of blends together. But, basically the idea was just to be able to make sure, kids out there always have helmets for the bicycles, skateboards, whatever it may be. Just because, we do deal with a lot of injury cases, and we've seen kind of traumatic brain injuries, and they're pretty awful cases, to be honest with you. So it's like, hey, if we can give a kid a $10 helmet and help prevent that, why not do it?
It is insane.
They outgrow them, too.
How many times, and I'm sure you grew up like this too, Mo, especially in the 80s and early 90s, of no one wore helmets anywhere. And
man, I have an embarrassing fact.
Like,
I never
I didn't own one.
Never. Me neither.
Yeah.
I never wore not one time on my bike.
Now, my parents did make me wear one when I rode like a four-wheeler or something, like a motorcycle, and they were like, "Oh, you should wear one."
Not me, because I was
They
borrowing
didn't.
it.
By the way, they didn't know. They were like, my mom's like, "I can't smoke in this." They like full face. But
my cigarettes aren't this short.
They would laugh at it, but they did make me wear that. But as far as bicycle helmet and I remember hitting my head when I was a young kid, and then having that deja vu where you get with a concussion where you forget the week and then you forget where you were going and stuff like. I'm like, that's bad. That's bad. And then I think about my sons, and I'm like, how did this happen? How did we grow up in a generation of no one thought to wear helmets at any time, and how many people were injured permanently?
Well, you see it too. I mean, you have kids. We all, we see. Like, I just got May a new one because she outgrew her original one. And that's another thing you have to deal with, because if it's not properly fitting, it ain't going to properly protect them. But, dude, she's already with her new helmet. She's bounced off the ground a couple of times. I have to get her another one, because it's like, you ruin the integrity of it after a little while, and it's not going to do what it needs to do. But it's amazing how many times kids do bounce off the pavement, their noggins. A lot more than you even think.
Yeah. And real quick, just to plug the DeWitt Law Firm real quick, we have the tagline "Injured on the Go." Just call Mo.
Indeed.
But you do tell everybody if you're injured in any instance, then give you a call. Obviously,
yeah. I mean, we deal with a lot of car accidents, slip and falls, but really any type of injury that wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always give us a call. Phone lines are open 24 hours, and basically, if you're injured and you need help, basically the people try to get me on my cell phone, so they just try to put me through. think I answered a call for someone the other day at 2 a.m. So
Yeah, and you did. You told me about that. It was really cool. Like if someone you can call 24 hours, you have a call center, and then
I was
if
just
it's
out of toilet paper, and he ran some right over. I was like, Thank
well, that's
you,
why
Mo."
it's not on the go. He was like,
know.
I'm on the go. I'm
I
calling.
know.
Mo.
I have
2 in the
changed.
morning.
Yeah, I have changed that.
Anyway, so another piece of history we've never talked about.
Oh, I don't even know. Oh, I do know where you're going.
And this is, I know listeners who are familiar with our old nanny will know what I'm talking about. And there has been a lot of stories. She was with us for over 5 years. So
That's a long time to have to eat in your bedroom, man.
she didn't eat in bed.
life.
Yeah.
She ate in the living room. She watched Legata, which I want to talk to
you
Mo
will
about.
lock her in her bedroom.
No, she gets to watch her favorite shows because I know what she likes. But
well, I'm sure Mo knows what she likes too.
my old nanny is actually the DeWitt's family nanny and works with Mo DeWitt.
Oh my god,
Now,
that's a come up right there. Oh my god,
we did.
are you serious?
I that has been a joke of me and my wife that she's
Oh yeah.
moving
And this
on
is
up.
before you even this is before you
It's a
even
Jefferson-
renovated your house.
Yeah, it's a Jefferson scenario.
Oh.
Yeah, she went from us to the DeWitt family, and I've been to Mo's house. I know, very, very nice.
And I know all the stories. Do you know all the stories?
I
When you
know a
listen,
lot
yeah.
of them.
Don't
I
ask
bet
her about
Mo
it.
doesn't leave his vibrator out.
Don't say it.
Never happened.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple things I don't know if you know that the nanny likes. One, her favorite show is Legata, which I
It
believe.
may have changed.
Well, I don't know.
I think now
I
she
don't know if
likes
that's still on.
Ellen's Game of Games.
And there's other things
You sound like you're getting a little sentimental almost about
no. Well, first,
the nanny that you.
she's a great person,
She is.
and it's awesome. But it is funny that seemingly she has a better life.
Oh yeah, I mean
it's
just
one-
based on square footage alone.
yeah.
I can
Oh,
only
yeah, yeah,
imagine
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and just treatment and.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Mo's just. I mean, Mo. I can look in his eyes and see a shred of compassion. He's not unfeeling like you are.
Less suspiciosos in your neighborhood.
Oh yeah, well, gated. He was a gated.
Yeah. My neighborhood, there's like, when you would take the boys for a walk, I'm like, do you want to bring the revolver?
Oh my God. You give her a complimentary gun.
This is District 9 around here. Be careful.
Good old castle.
The alien ship is parked to the you'll see it in the distance.
Castleberry is where they shot Chappie.
If the raccoons come at you, just cap them off.
And
Also,
your wife doesn't order her around like constantly, right? Like you guys used to love
No.
to just like watch this and like
I
give
didn't.
me my food.
that is
Watch
that.
this.
You can make sure that you don't run out of coffee. Also, she loves the traditional. One time, I've told the story before,
Yeah,
but
you bought her like what'd you buy her?
she had this metal coffee maker that it's like old school. The one you just put on
Yeah, you
the
can buy
burner.
them at Publix, like a percolator.
Yeah. I don't even know how it works, by the way. Like, I just got into
It's just
coffee, and
heat.
I use a K-cups and a Keurig now, and it's like I put the thing in, whatever. This metal thing, I'm like, how does it work?
Yeah,
Like, where and how does it make it?
Yeah, I think it like the water boils, comes up and down through, right?
Yeah, you put the water in the bottom. It has like a little pipe, and it pushes the water up through the pipe, through the coffee grounds, into the top part. We have 3 of them.
I thought, okay.
The
Well,
one that she did have, you
I threw
stopped
her-
it. Yeah, you're like, why are you using this?
Well, I assumed.
What are you, George Washington? I'm going to get you the real stuff.
I assumed that she was using this old school Colombian metal coffee, like from the old, like you're old gold
You don't
miner.
need to make it like that. Who do you think you
I was like,
are?
what is this?
Castro's grandfather? I'll make you some good
I
coffee.
think this is what cowboys used in the 1800s. Like, why are you using that? I'm going to get you a coffee maker from Bed Bath & Beyond.
Good old Mr. Coffee.
I got it the
this guy's
cheapest one
sir.
to make.
Sir.
It was $13 at Bed Bath & Beyond. And then I threw her metal one away, and then I'm like, look, and I got and
I
she's
even
too,
ran some extra white vinegar through there so it doesn't have a plastic taste.
and she's too nice. She's the nicest lady in the entire world. where she thanked me, whatever, but then she hated it, so she didn't know like how to use it. She liked her one that she had before, and then I forgot to buy coffee.
Oh, the
one
chat
time.
room didn't know that Mo got your nanny, and they are roasting. I
know. No one knows. This is the first time we've ever talked about it.
And see, the people that skip a corporate time are they'll skip it, and then they'll find, what do you mean? And then, it's just gonna happen in waves.
And so then one day she was like over the kitchen sink, and then she was having she didn't have her caffeine. She's going through caffeine withdrawal, I think, because she had a cup of coffee every morning for
takeaway coffee.
35 years. You have a cup of coffee every morning, and then I screwed that routine up, and you're having a problem by the sink.
Oh, hey, nanny, what's the matter?
Yeah.
You didn't like being locked in your room all night?
Also, I did not do that. Also, another thing, I'm giving you a little tip here.
I don't think he needs a tip.
I'm just in case.
How did this
People make mistakes.
How did this become get our new client in here, steal his one wheel, give him tips?
Well, there's
nanny advice from Tom Van.
He should give us tips.
Don't forget to disengage your Bluetooth from your phone. Because
Mo's not an animal.
I know. I'm not even implying that Mo this would ever happen. I'm just saying
to those websites, man.
I know, but
it's crazy.
Because if you do that, if you engage your Bluetooth to the Alexa because you're showing your boys jingle farts the night before, they laugh.
In the morning, you're not doing jingles. You're doing jingles something else.
And then you're at business.com, you're looking up the stock reports.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, why doesn't it have anything
Why
of
does
audio?
this stock report have audio of a woman screaming behind it?
And then I'm pushing the audio up, and I can't hear nothing. And then you realize the whole time he's playing the audio in the kitchen. Yeah. And then you hit pause. You're like, oh God. And you're like, I hope she's
like,
not
what
out
are you doing in there? And you're like, I'm watching videos of birds cawing.
No, she would never say anything, but it's just like, and then you stay in there, you give it a good 15 minutes, and you're like, I gotta.
Well, she has children. She knows what it is.
No. You don't understand. This is the most pure,
sweet lady.
sweetest human being in the world. And then you go out and she's frozen in fear in front of the sink, and you're like, oh no, I know she heard it. I know she did.
I've never said this before, but Tom took the nanny out to Colorado. When we went out there, remember, we brought her with us.
Yeah.
And she was watching my daughter for a little bit of time. And there was one point where I did look into her eyes as we were leaving where I felt she was asking me to be her new family. I could feel it a little bit. There was fear.
I did think to myself, well, no one's going to take you on fancy vacations again. You're reached the tippy top of stardom here. You're with old Tom Van. You get to go on these extravagant.
Welcome to Star Search. 5 stars.
By the way, I'm going to a borrowed house in 95. I'm like, they let us stay here. Don't touch anything. And then I see her getting on, Mo's plane and the whole thing. I don't know if you own it. It's old. And I'm like, oh God, it's a better life.
It's a better life. It is a better life. Well, please pass on to her that I miss her.
Yeah.
And that I'm glad she finally escaped.
Escape.
I feel like this is I eat ribs with that dude scenario. It's almost the same.
Anyway, so I'm sure, and Mo's going to come on the show each month on a corporate time. We're going to talk law and whatever else comes up. Speaking of that, one last, and we'll end with a law. This is less of a question, more of a I don't understand how it happened. But we talked on another ACT about how the hell did a giant billion-dollar corporation let me do the dumb stuff that I did back in the day? Because now I'm looking at it as if, like, well, if I were them, like the higher-ups or whatever, I wouldn't let this idiot do dangerous things at any time. He could hurt himself. I mean, think of it in front. Imagine this. I'm on a dirt bike.
You're decapitated in front of 90,000 people.
I'm at Monster Jam. They let me jump to. I've never even ridden a 4-stroke dirt bike in my life until that morning, where I rode it around the infield of the Monster Jam like 5 times. So I for sure could have gone rocketing into Gravedigger, piercing the thin plastic coating on the outside.
You just hit the roll cage and break all your face out.
Getting tangled in the giant roll cage, and then while 70,000 people watch, pre-video, by the way, so at least there wouldn't be that. But then I'm paralyzed.
Oh, it'd be bad.
Or killed, and then my family, Crystal at the time, or my mom is trying to sue to get money because I told them, I was like, if I get hurt, sue this company, get
Well, let
rich.
me ask you this question first, Mo. If you're a spectator at an event like that, and let's say this guy does kill himself in front of me and my daughter and my wife.
Yeah.
Do I mean,
Yeah, you could have.
do I have a lawsuit for them scarring my daughter who happens to really care about Mr. Tom?
I always say this is America. You can sue anyone for any reason.
Also, it may not help that I'm wearing a Bear in the Big Blue House suit.
Yeah, so he really had her attention.
Like, there's so many angles of a lawsuit here. Like,
That's true. I never thought about the fact that it's almost like an attractive nuisance for children's eyeballs.
Wearing a Disney costume, being employed by a $1 billion company, doing a stunt for another $1 billion company, Live Nation. It just seems unlikely that I ever got away with doing any of this stuff.
So this shouldn't have happened, right?
Or is it like Daniel brought up the case? Well, maybe it's harder for you, and they knew that it would be hard for you to sue them, so they let you do it because you're doing it on your own free will. You signed some, they made me sign
something,
some sort of on-field waiver. I signed some waivers or whatever, and like maybe they're like, it's protected enough, So what, in your lawyer opinion, do you side with me? How the hell did this happen? Or was it a case of they knew that it would be hard for you to sue them even if you did get paralyzed or die?
Well, I mean, I think at the time it's a situation where the corporation's making so much money they don't really care, and they haven't gotten sued yet. So once they get sued, then they're like, whoa, we didn't know that this was going on. We gotta bring this in.
Daniel brought that up. He's like, because they've never been sued for this specific thing, then it wasn't on their radar. But once that happens, then that's what shuts down everything, right?
Exactly. I mean, I think that happened. I think wasn't there a promotion where they're having people drink water or something?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. And then that all kind
Jade was a part of that.
Now that was more of a radio promotion.
I like to always point that out. I always like to say Jade was a part of that. And then I also like to say Cabin Boy was a judge in Gapetoberfest. There's certain things that I just have to.
He said, now please. Yeah, he said he had a family. Please stop discussing that.
He
begged me.
Well, I mean, I think a family's three. I mean, I hate to be hot.
He said he's a business professional in this community.
Well, that he is, but be careful what you judge.
All right, Mo, thank you very much.
Yeah,
thanks for the time, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you for supporting the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Love the show.
It really, really helps out. And Mo's been, Louise helping us out for an extremely long time. And thank you again for all the stuff that you do for charity.
Yeah,
there have been times when you've kind of swooped in the 11th hour and paid for all the green fees for certain things and helped us out. And that really means a lot because the children's charity aspect of what we do, I know I can speak for you. There's only one thing I can speak for Tom. The most important thing that we've ever done is the stuff that we do for Yellow Brick.
Yeah.
That's our most important.
And they're
work.
a great cause. I mean, they're a great foundation, great people.
Yeah, and Mo has helped us out with
many times,
countless charity foot golf tournaments with paying for the green fees, and we appreciate that.
Doesn't look like we'll be doing that anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, we're figuring something out.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. But justcallmo.com is the website. The DeWitt Law Firm is a new sponsor of Tom and Dan, so we appreciate it. All right, Mo, we'll talk to you soon, man.
Bye-bye.